OnePlus is dead. Seriously, go check YouTube or Reddit right now. It is basically a federal. Everyone spun out that the OG geek brand is disappearing. But look, don't start mourning just yet. I've actually got some solid news from the TWS market. Honestly, this might be the absolutely best time to snag some high-value OnePlus Buds for cheap. Let's talk about it. If you are looking for some solid budget-friendly earbuds right now, you have probably seen the new OnePlus Buds for Pro on your list. I actually bought its clone, the OPPO Enco Air for Pro, right before the OnePlus version even launched. Quick heads up for those who don't know, the OPPO and the OnePlus are both under the BBK umbrella. These two earbuds drop back to back, and honestly, from the design and specs, it is straight up one-and-one copy-paste job. This isn't the first time they have put this move either. They did the exact same thing with the OnePlus Buds 3 and the OPPO Enco X3i. But here's the interesting part. Realme, another brand in the family, come back to OPPO this year. And the Realme Buds Air 8 is actually the real winner. In my opinion, this is the best value earbuds of 2026 so far. I have got a whole video on that if you want to deep dive. So, here's the real question. With a budget bestseller like that in the same family, does the OnePlus Buds for Pro even have the edge anymore? I'm gonna put the Buds for Pro and the Realme Buds Air 8 and the OnePlus Buds 4 head-to-head to see which one actually comes out on top. Plus, I will tell you if right now is honestly the best time to snip some value OnePlus earbuds, or if you should just pass. Let's get into it. Looking at the chart, it's pretty obvious. The Realme Buds Air 8 is absolutely crushing the OnePlus Buds for Pro. We are talking drivers, noise cancelling, battery life, it is not even close. And the kicker is actually $4 cheaper for $40. Realme is giving you a massive 58 hours of battery, 55 display ANC, and they didn't cut a corner on the audio qualities either. But the wireless part, it is rocking the exact same 11 plus 6mm dual gyro setup as the flagship OnePlus Buds 4. When you put it like that, the Buds 4 Pro and its single 12mm driver just looks 0% connectivity right now. Let's talk about ANC. On paper, also all of these are rated at 55 display, but the actual experience is totally different. The flagship OnePlus Buds 4 has the 5500Hz ultra-wideband noise cancelling. If you want to block out people talking or the sound of the keyboards, that quiet vibe is honestly on another level. Then you have the Nerd and the Realme. They both claim 55 display, but because the Realme has those dual driver as the foundation, it handles low frequency stuff like the roll of the subway or the bus way more better. The noise cancelling is cleaner and there's less ear pressure. Don't get me wrong, the Buds for Pro is totally fine for daily use, but standing next to the Realme, it just doesn't have any edge. Next up, let's talk quality. I'm gonna put these to the real-world test to see how the Macs actually hold up. I'll be testing on the quiet room and taking them to the outside where it's super noisy and windy. Here are the recordings. Check it out for yourself.
This is the core performance of the OPPO Enco Air 5 Pro in quiet environment. What you're hearing is the raw video straight from the phone, no post-processing, no audio edits. How does it sound to you? This is the core performance of the OnePlus Buds 4 in quiet environment. What you're hearing is the raw video straight from the phone, no post-processing, no audio edits. How does it sound to you? This is the core performance of the Realme Buds Air 8 in quiet environment. What you're hearing is the raw video straight from the phone, no post-processing, no audio edits. How does it sound to you? Now here's the core performance of the OPPO Enco Air 5 Pro in noisy, windy environment. Again, no post-processing, no audio edits. Can you hear me clearly? What do you think? Now here's the core performance of the OnePlus Buds 4 in noisy, windy environment. Again, no post-processing, no audio edits. Can you hear me clearly? What do you think? Now here's the core performance of the Realme Buds Air 8 in a noisy, windy environment. Again, no post-processing, no audio edits. Can you hear me clearly? What do you think?
Now that we have seen the core specs, let's look at the actual features. Basically, where else did they decide to cut corners? OnePlus finally moved the Buds for Pro over to web control, which is great. It is so much more convenient. I mean, look at the Sony XM6, they are still sticking with their trash touch logic. So definitely an upgrade for the Nord here. Honestly, the Nord isn't stripped back too badly. You still get a dual device pairing and the air translation stuff, but when you put it next to the Realme Buds Air 8, the Realme is just insane in value. You can get the 3-device connection, spatial audio, and all the AI features. Plus, the latency is crazy low at 45 milliseconds. That's actually better than the flagship OnePlus Buds 4. The only real win for Nord is the fast charging. 10 minutes charging gives you 3 hours of playback. That's legit. But other than that, the Nord Buds 4 Pro just can't really handle with the Realme. Finally, let's get into the big one, sound quality. We talked about how these three have different drivers. So, how does that actually change the vibe? Let's check the frequency response curve. Looking at this FR chart, all three of these are pretty much rocking that standard V-shaped vibe. But if you look closer, the difference is legit night and day. Looking at the bass, also with this hits super hard in the sub bass, they're legit punchy. But the Realme Buds Air 8 actually handled that transition from the bass to mids way better. Usually, with that deep V tuning you see on the other two, the bass ends up mothering everything else. But the Realme gives that vocal energy. The singer feels way more forward and clean, so they don't get buried by the drums. Now for the treble. This is where the difference between single drivers and dual driver setup, it's just night and day. The Nord Buds 4 Pro basically falls off a cliff right away 10 kHz. But the Realme and OnePlus Buds 4 have a dedicated 6mm tweeter, so the high-end extension is solid. Especially the Realme around 16 kHz. It has got this boost that added some airness. It sounds super open and transparent, not like the sound trapped in the box when it comes to actually listening. The Nord Buds 4 Pro, the OPPO Enco Air 5 Pro, stick to that OnePlus classical tuning. The bass is still super punchy and has tons of energy. But honestly, part of that is the solution is running LHDC 5.0 at 24 bits 96 kHz, which is a step down from the 192 kHz on the flagship OnePlus Buds 4. Basically, you are just not going to hear in much more detail. The Realme Buds Air 8 is on the same level as the Nord, which is really the only place where I feel like they actually nerfed the Realme. But even with that, the Realme Buds Air 8 sounds way more balanced than the Nord's, and honestly, even more than the OnePlus Buds 4. Even if you mess with the EQ on the others, I still don't think they hit that level of balance. If you are already rocking the Nord's, here's my customer EQ. It makes them sound way more balanced, especially for pop or just turning to those vocal-heavy tracks. So yeah, back to the question, as at the start. Does the OnePlus Nord Buds 4 Pro even have the age? Honestly, unless you are a die-hard fan of OnePlus sound or you're already logged into their ecosystem with the OnePlus phone, the Realme Buds Air 8 is easy winner for budget pair. As for the whole OnePlus is that thing, and they are getting swallowed up by OPPO, I've got a mixed feeling for real. From a tech enthusiast perspective, it's a totally bummer. We're losing a brand that actually has some soul, that verbal vibe, that wasn't fair to toe-to-toe with the giants like Samsung. Without the old never-say-to OnePlus, the market just feels a lot more boring. But if you look at it from our wallet perspective, it may actually a win, with OPPO taking back the reins and the OnePlus fully interacting. We might finally stop seeing this ridiculous move where they put the same hardware in two different cells, spend double on marketing, and then make us pay for it. If this is about wasting money on that entire drama and actually put that budget back to the hardware and the tech, we may see OnePlus start dropping value booms just like the Realme is doing right now. I really hope so. If OnePlus going back to OPPO means we can get pure, solid product again, then that's the win-win we have been waiting for. Alright, that's the video. If this video helped you out, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Anyway, I'm Ring. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.